Hey guys, I'm going to run through a couple of these scripts and show you what they do just so we have them and we know. First I'll just start at the left and we'll go from here. Center pivot, delete history, freeze transforms. I just add those to almost all my shells because I use those a lot. So ignore those. This is the RockGenerator script. You can play around with all of these, but basically it generates boulders and rocks and just makes them. You could also do quartz, which will create these really crystally looking things, so we can use these as well. And these come apart. They're just individual objects, no big deal. This one also has stalagmite, which I wish worked, but it doesn't work for my version, so maybe one of you guys can try it or we can figure it out later. So that's the RockGenerator script right here. NinjaSpeedBox is this thing. Basically what this is it's a list like the shelves up here, but this updates depending on what you have selected with options that you can do to that object. So if I go to face and I select a face, I can extrude it, separate it, do all these things. If I go to vertex and select this one, it gives me all different sorts of options for what I have selected. So that's the NinjaSpeedBox right here. This is a SelectExact. What this does is when this is run, it selects everything in your scene that's exactly the same. So if I took one of these and I extruded it up, like if I open NinjaSpeedBox and hit the extrude button and pulled it up, selected this one right here, and then hit the SelectExact, it'll select everything but this one because it's no longer exactly like the other ones. Mirror. The mirror one just helps you mirror across local axes. It brings this up. And also world axes. It's really good for mirroring things. I haven't really used it too much, so I can't cover it very thoroughly. But you know, it's mirror. I mean, it's no big deal. I mean, so you click it and it mirrors it over here exactly. So I guess I could have deleted all of these. Hit this, select exact, and then mirror across the X. Hopefully. There it goes. Alright, I mean, so that's one way to do it. Would have been quicker than the way I did it, but I didn't think about it. vertexAlign I already showed you in a different video. Column makes a column, so you can create it, and it'll make you a nice column. You can finalize it, adjust all these settings to adjust what the column looks like. I just downloaded it to see what a column actually, how they create a column, etc. Get rid of that. The name retool is really cool. If I select these in order like this, and see how I skipped that one by accident, but whatever. When I click this up, I can rename these box 1, box 2, box 3, box 4, and you don't have to have this stuff selected. BO5. And then you'll notice over here, if I close this, this is now box 1, 2, 3. This will be box 5 because I selected it last, and this is box 4. So it goes in the order that you selected it. Curve to joint, that one's a little bit more specific, but let me come over here into a top view. Come over here and we'll just click down some curve joints. Basically what this does is it takes this object with its control vertexes, you select them, come back to scripts, and you hit curve to joint. It should have worked, but it didn't. It's saying joints over here. Basically it's supposed to turn your curves into joints, so where the vertexes are. It did work. They're just really, really small. We can actually fix that by coming up here to display, animation, joint size. Crank that up. Well, we'll do that later. That's beside the point. So let's just get rid of all of this. We'll just delete that, but that's what it does. It makes joints out of curves. Used it for a spine rigging. I can show you that later. BCC, that's pretty cool. That's just a box control curve. It just makes a curve that's a box. I don't know how to make this very easily, so a button that goes and you now have a box that's made out of control curves. That's cool. Delete that. CFG, clear from graph. I used this for the hypershade and adding things to the graph, so I wouldn't worry too much about that one. Add to graph and remove from graph, that's all there. This 0 one, basically what this does, I was tired of holding down the X, I don't want to set a key. I was tired of holding down the X key and dragging it to the 0 to snap things to 0. So I created this and just snaps it to 0. It's a very easy script to write. All you have to do is snap to grid, snap mode minus grid, move 0, 0, 0. Okay, it's a little bit more complicated. I don't really remember how I wrote this. I just held down the X key, snapped it to the grid, and watched what it did, copied it, and there we go. I thought it was a lot easier than that, but apparently not. Alright, so that's an overview of all the scripts that I have. If you want any of these, all of these, you can take my settings. I'll provide that in the Dropbox under Bluefish. So that's it. Thank you.